One. And we're live. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to, sorry, we're a bit late, some technical issues, but welcome to this stream of the Pirate National Committee meeting on this Sunday, March 20th. Lovely to have you all here. Lovely to have folks. Just checking really quick. I probably should have checked this earlier, but we do have a quorum. Hey, hey, hey. Okay, so cool. Let's go ahead and get started. And I just got another message from another member looking for the meeting link. Same as above. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting of the Pirate National Committee to order at 9:19 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to ask for IDs in the order that I see you on screen. So, Ethan, why don't you go ahead and give your ID?
Ethan Osborne, Covington, Kentucky.
Okay. Mitch?
Mitchell DeVillo of Chicagoland, the Illinois Pirate Party, and I'm the Swarm Care Manager of the United States Pirate Party.
Joe?
I would be the representative of Massachusetts, Joseph Honorowski, and I am also the treasurer, the Pirate Council, and so much more. I also make cupcakes on the weekend.
Nice. That sounds pretty cool. What kind of cupcakes?
Yes.
Ooh, fun. Okay. William, I'm assuming based on your message that you are unable to speak right now. If you are able to speak right now, go ahead and speak up. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so we also have William Dappin, who is the California representative, who is present, and then AJ.
Anthony J., Indiana Pirate Party Outreach Chair, and totally not currently endangered by a sentient AI that might eat communications majors.
Ooh, yeah. Not at all. Not at all.
No,
okay, so we don't have to worry about that.
That totally doesn't happen. We don't have to worry about it.
We did not have a conversation about that. We don't have to worry about that. It's nothing to be concerned about. Okay, and as usual, my name is Rose Klein. I am the chair of the Pirate National Committee. So let's get started. I was like, I know I'm missing something on my computer, and what that something is of course the minutes of the meeting, a very important thing to have up. So I'm gonna pull that up. I'm going, what is happening? Okay, first things first. In order, let's just go through reports. So I'm going to I'm gonna ask for reports. You know what? Ethan, anything to report from Kentucky?
Slow progress in Kentucky. The party's established. We'll have a meeting probably next week. Just trying to get all the framework, more solid, and got some more members coming in. Things on my end are a little slow because I'm so busy right now. But mid-April, I'll be able to focus a lot more energy on it. So. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have for now.
Cool, thank you. Mitch, anything to report?
Platform did not hold a meeting this week. That is my fault. I'm going to try to do better. It was a bad start as platform chair. And as for Swarm Care, we finished up our third party.
Did we just lose Mitch?
Mitch is freezing up.
Okay.
I can't believe Mitch would end all third parties like that. We finished up the third parties. What are you doing?
Oh yeah,
Mitch?
I forgot that. Mitch and I were both in this. What he was about to explain. Yeah. Right.
Okay. Mitch will hopefully have you back in a moment. I'm gonna go ahead and say, Joe, do you have anything to report?
Nothing on the Treasury front. Unfortunately, this last week I was ill, so I didn't get much done. Looks like Mitch is back, though.
Hello.
Mitch, we lost you there. Anything
Sorry.
to report?
Yeah. I was a bad platform chair my first time round. Swarm Care. We had the third-party summit with Revolutionary Blackout Network. I thought that went very well. And I think that they are hosting more in the future. And if we can be a part of that in the future, I would like to. I thought we represented the Pirate Party well. And I think a lot of people were open to newer ideas. And I think it's positions that they didn't think about before. And I think that that's always a good, always a good thing to push forward with. State-wise, it's my understanding that Pennsylvania is doing fairly well. It's a shame that we don't have our Pennsylvania representative here today, but I hope we can get him to start coming to more meetings, and then we'll be set there. Past that, there's nothing more to report for Swarm Care. Successful week.
Heck yeah. Awesome. Okay. Okay. AJ, anything to report?
You know what? I'll turn my camera on for a second. Why not? I'm not in a great place, but it works. Okay, so for outreach, we've been kind of busy this week. We held our meeting, and we've done a few other things off to the side, and a lot of it has revolved around the idea of, okay, so I'll start from the beginning. We've gotten a lot of ex-libertarian people interested in the Pirate Party lately, including people that, may be interested in being dual libertarian pirates, things like that. And the topic that Outreach has talked about this week in plenty of different forms is, how do we make the Pirate Party a comfortable, adjustment for people coming over from the Libertarian Party? How do we, fit their needs? How do we communicate with them? What can we do to maybe continue this trend as well? Things like that. I'm going to try and have a meeting with a lot of the new Libertarian pirates sometime later this week. And during our meeting on Tuesday, we actually had one of those new Libertarian pirates come talk to us. He's not like fully jumping ship from the Libertarian Party or anything, but he's interested in being part of the Pirate Party as well. And we got the opportunity to ask him questions. I think things are going absolutely great over there. I am really excited to see what comes of this. Stateside, since we've been giving state reports, that was kind of fun. Maybe we should do that. For the very first time in the history of the Indiana Pirate Party, we have had 2 different meetings this week. We had a meeting on Tuesday, and then one of our members pulled me aside and was like, "Hey, AJ, can we meet again? There are a few other things I want to talk to you about." So I consider that a sign of success. The party is not just me and a few casual volunteers anymore. It is kind of starting to become a real group of a few people, and I am really happy to see where that goes as well.
Okay, cool. Joe.
If I may, to the point of the Libertarian and that conversation that you're about to have, you have to remember that the Libertarian Party is not actually that much different than who we are. They are kind of centrist right, we're centrist left. The jump from a Libertarian to a pirate is about the same as a jump from a Democrat to a Green Party. So in terms of individual autonomy, and we're a little bit more focused on the individual versus just everybody do whatever they want. But we bring in a lot more scientific approach and a lot more of a scientific mindset, a techie mindset, and that analytical mindset to what works and what doesn't work. So that should be a couple good shots for your cannon right there.
Yeah, well, I think that there are plenty of different ways that we can take the discussion, and all of them will be good, right? And I will probably be talking to Mitch sometime this week to see if we can't incorporate his notes on these pirate orientations we want to start doing, since this would officially, essentially be a first one of those. I do agree with you that I don't think it's that much of a jump, and that's why it's happening, right? So I want to make sure that these people coming over from the Libertarian Party, or people who are interested in doing both, or just looking at the pirate success, A, knows how similar we are, and B, knows how to get involved.
I was going to say, you mentioned that this seems like a development that's concurrent with what we were talking about last week, 2 weeks ago, I think, with this sort of idea of a Pirate 101, pirate orientation. I'm curious, and maybe this is something we can add to a new business agenda item, as to, if there is development on the front of a pirate orientation, Pirate 101, would you all want additional people on that, working with you on that? How can that become a community effort? How can that be something that we're all contributing to?
For sort of the meeting I want to have with the new libertarian pirates, I'm expecting it to just sort of be a really rough trial run, as in, I'm going to take everything I learned from that meeting and I'm going to be handing it over to Mitch so he can continue to develop the idea. Right. So I think that's a good point, but I think that we'll have more information to work with after we get this, really rough trial run that's only sort of the pirate orientation out of the way, right? So talk to me next week, and I might have better answers.
Okay. Can I put it on the agenda for next week?
Of course you can put it on the agenda for next week.
Okay, cool. Yeah, iterative design. I'm all for it. Cool. Okay. William, anything that you wanted to report on? Just wanted to ask that. And then, I think, Joe, did we get to everything that you were saying? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna assume we're good, William, unless you say something in chat. Okay, so is there any discussion or debate on the things that have been said in reports? Mitch, you're like,
I'm trying to unmute myself. That John Keating was an Illinois Green Party member who was a part of the Revolutionary Blackout debates with us. He had mentioned to me that they wanted to host a legalized federal marijuana protest on 420. I checked my schedule and I just realized I'm not going to be able to organize or attend one. I will be, for the next few months, I'm going to be incapacitated for 4 days a week. So I won't be able to be there for it.
Okay.
But I want to put out that opportunity for anyone who also was thinking, maybe a local federalized marijuana protest would be a good idea.
Oh, I would definitely be 100% down for that. I could organize a real nice one. Oh yeah. I just had to check my schedule because I'm not sure what exactly I have planned for that time, but that would be great.
Well, it is April 20th. I just checked as a Wednesday. So that is just something to keep in mind. If I can try to organize something in Illinois, maybe send representatives to Springfield on behalf of the Illinois Pirates, I can and will try to. Otherwise, that's just something to think about.
To be clear, is this something, so this is like a national thing, and we would be organizing individual local protest versions of it?
To my understanding, he brought it up to me as if it was an Illinois Green Party event and that he asked if the Illinois Pirates wanted to be a part of it.
Okay.
But I do think that this is something that it just might be a good idea to present to the PNC just as an activity that we could move forward with.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
I will find more information, get that to you as soon as I can.
That'd be great. Any further discussion or debate? Okay, hearing none, we move on to old business. In old business, the first thing was planning for the Pirate National Conference. So specifically, we have the Pirate National Conference coming up at the end of May, beginning of June. I know we had specific dates set, and for some reason I don't have those pulled up. And
isn't it now in the bylaws, or am I misunderstanding?
Yeah, the bylaws have a specific weekend set for the voting, and we kind of work back from there. Okay. So we did have specific dates set based on that, and it's somewhere in our meeting history, and I just haven't pulled it up yet today. But I know it's like May. Hang on. It's the last weekend of May through the it's. Hang on, I got you. It's May 29th through June 5th. No. Yes.
Could I suggest it would make things a little bit more crunched on time, but maybe we should start. I would suggest starting with May 30th, only because we now have a base of a few different people that might be willing to watch, and the Libertarian Conference is the 26th through the 29th.
Oh. Okay.
So that would, that mean we wouldn't have to compete in the small overlap that we're starting to build a little bit. They could, watch both, and then maybe that would work out in our favor. Who knows?
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting point. And I think so we had discussed the reason I bring this up, right, is because we had discussions, we had like sort of an ad hoc committee formed a while back that had created a theme that had created like a loose theme, a very loose idea of a schedule, and yeah, a very loose idea of a schedule, a loose theme, and some sort of, and those specific dates. So I wanted to ask, I guess, do we want to set anything specific now? Do we want to move this to some sort of committee? How do we want to proceed? That's definitely an interesting suggestion, AJ, that I think makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I guess just like, how do we want to proceed with this, knowing that this is all coming up? Ethan.
Is this all online, or will it be in person?
We had decided that this would be online, and that next year we would try for in person, depending on status of, we would try to plan that ahead in person. But that this year was too much of a crunch to make that work online, or not, in person as opposed to online.
If I may, on that topic, since we are not on that topic, sorry, on the whole topic, since we had some kind of makeshift committee kind of starting, and for various reasons, we kind of don't have one anymore, should we maybe start by, forming another temporary committee that can meet, try and meet a few times over the next few weeks to iron out some of these details, kind of like what we were going to do?
Seems reasonable. I guess the next question is, who and when should they report back? And yeah, and what specific, what things should be decided by that committee, right? Like, is it, we have, and I need to pull it up. It's probably something that I should have pulled up beforehand. My bad. But what, from the based on what has already been decided, vague theme, vague schedule, although it sounds like we might be altering that, or there's a suggestion to alter that at least. Yeah. And this idea of a RFP, which I know we had talked about, right? What should be handed to the committee? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think sort of starting with what we've already figured out and hammering out some of those details, like, we have a vague idea of a theme, we could streamline that a little bit, working, with the RFP, figuring that out a little bit better. That's definitely, where we would first go, is what work do we already have done, and what work needs to be done on that stuff. When it comes to, reporting back, I mean, I think reporting back every week would probably be good. And as far as who should be on it, since I was on the first one, I will volunteer myself and say I would love to be on it. I don't know who else would like to volunteer. I don't know. Those are just sort of my loose thoughts to start the conversation.
I'd be happy to also help with that organization. I feel like it would be nice to have a third person in on that, frankly.
Mitch, can I? I was gonna say, Mitch, can I volunteer you? There he is.
I will be volunteered heavily.
Fantastic. Okay. Okay. So I guess then the question just becomes what specifically we're focusing on first. It would be nice to have an action item, right? A takeaway action item, as opposed to just planning the Pirate National Conference, right? Like, what is this body, the PNC, telling us to focus on this week?
Theme, schedule, some detail about the RFP. So basically just taking what we've already had done and finishing it.
I would also venture to say I would like to see some time of like time chart structure, like half an hour blocks, 45-minute blocks. Make sure you're including times that people can get up, take breaks, etc. Make sure that there's breathe breaks or smoke breaks if you got them, etc. Like an actual timetable for what the day is going to look like. And whatever we put in those slots, whether it be speakers or things to work on, how to run, etc. That overall structure of what we want how that day to go out.
Okay. Other things, discussion or debate on this, things that people want to have the committee focus on for the Pirate National Conference. Reminder that the Pirate National Conference happens, it happens every year, and it's where we sort of recalibrate as a whole group of pirate members for everyone, and it's also where the leadership is elected. Testing any necessary infrastructure for the PNC. William from California says maybe testing any necessary infrastructure for the PNC. The event, not the conference. I was gonna say, you said never mind. I was gonna say I'm a little bit curious what you mean by that.
Oh, for when I'm just sitting down and talking to libertarians or something else? Because that's not going to be too formal of a thing, if that's what you're talking about, California.
Sorry, it's quiet for a second so I can talk. For the actual end of May, everyone gets together, PNC. Are we going to be using the same systems that we're doing now? Are we going to change something so that we can be a little bit more kind of much more like a convention? Or are we going to, let's just figuring out the technological infrastructure that we're going to use, maybe? Sorry, I worded that really weird.
No, I think that's a really good point and very much appreciated. Yeah, we should test all those things ahead of time if we're going to change any of those things. I was hoping for sure to get the Discord relay bot working way before then. Frankly, I was futzing around with that earlier today. To minimal success. By minimal, I mean almost none. but we'll get there. Yeah, I mean, I'll speak a little bit to my hopes for that, and then I'd love to hear what other people were thinking on that front. I would like to, if anyone has seen what the national conferences, or yeah, I think they call it the national conference, what the national conference for Pirate Party Australia looks like. I think I kind of want it to look a bit like that, or National Council, in the sense that uh, um, we have the ability of all of the members to interact and maybe vote in some way. But that, is dependent on how we want to, whether if we do want to restructure voting or not, then that's a discussion that's been sort of happening in the background. I've voiced my opinion on that already. Either way, it would be nice to have more participation of the members in some sort of chat that can go on screen, in terms of like structuring OBS, having a chat on screen of the speakers on screen, and some sort of banner, like like a Twitch stream, basically. Like structure it like a Twitch stream, AJ.
I just wanted to say, I think I've even talked about this before, but I would love if during National Convention we did find some way for the convention to be, more democratic, more open, with more participation than meetings usually are. My first thought would be we can just, have some propositions available to say, okay, we're testing out complete direct democracy. Here are the propositions we're voting on at, this the convention's weekly PNC meeting or whatever, and we have some sort of infrastructure in place to let everybody vote on them. That could be one way. Or we could just, like what you were getting at, another thing we could do is we could try and make talking about what's happening at the national convention as pleasing and interactive as possible, and just try and, always get their feedback. We read the chat during these meetings, and we read the chat during the Patriot Act protest event, but I do think that we could probably try to do even more just in terms of making sure that everyone's voices are heard. That would be another way we could go. Overall, though, I do think I support the idea that maybe we should look at our infrastructure, both, physical tech infrastructure and actual administrative infrastructure, and just see if there's anything we could do to make the event, particularly special and direct for everyone who is in some kind of office.
Yeah. Is there further discussion or debate on what the committee that is going off and figuring out this stuff should do? All right. Hearing none. It sounds like the main focus of this is tech and the specific schedule. That's what I'm hearing. Are there any objections from the members of the PNC to this committee being formed and going off and doing that? Hearing no objections and moving on to the next item of business. Okay, and again, I don't have the minutes up for some reason. Okay. Okay, but the next item of business was something. There we go. Oh, it's a report back from me. Okay, there we go. I have a report back for everyone about meeting times. So we had talked last time about the possibility of having alternative meeting times for the Pirate National Committee. And let's see. Yeah. We had talked about potential alternative meeting times. It seems like the best meeting time is according to what people had indicated in their interest, would be sometime between 5 and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sundays. I would suggest, if we were to go with some sort of change in this realm, that it would be somewhere around the later end of that, 5:30 or 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Mind you, I want to be conscious of our Massachusetts Pirates specifically, who I know have a Mass Pirates talk. I know I'm saying that wrong. It's Mass Pirates News that they do. I believe, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, it's at 7 that you start that, but you need time to.
7, we're generally done by 8.
Yeah, you need time to like set that up. So it would be probably be best to leave you time to set that up, which is I think why I would suggest, if we were to change this to be earlier, and again, this is not a required thing, but a suggested thing by one of our members at large, that we change the time of at least some of the Pirate National Committee meetings, maybe not all, to be earlier in the day, so that people in the UK have an easier time watching and or participating. Yeah, so I would, of the options that were presented, it seems like 5:30 Eastern Standard Time is the most viable. And really the only time, 5:30 Eastern Standard Time on Sundays is the most viable and the only time that seems to be generally agreed on. So that would be my suggestion from there. Discussion or motions or thoughts.
A thought of mine is that this is such a it would be such a large change. We'd be moving it back a few hours to the point where, well, I know we used the when to meet and made sure that everyone was okay with it, but I do think it would require some schedule adjustment. So I would want to make sure that we gave everyone time to prepare if we did make a change like this, right? Say we do it a few weeks from now, we set it up and then we start that, or whatever we want to do, some of the meetings. Also, my other concern is that I want to make sure that our California Pirates from Pacific are okay with that, because that's pretty early for them.
Ethan.
I just wanted to add that anytime Sunday's fine with me. Preferably not. I mean, when we get before 5 o'clock, gets a little more tricky. But 5 on is good for me on Sundays because I'm always off on Sundays usually.
Okay.
If I may, with all due respect to our European Pirates, if they are looking to see the PNC meeting, it is live streamed and available on YouTube after the fact. So my personal opinion, I do not believe we should change the time of the PNC. That is just where I presently stand.
That's a perfectly fair response.
I have to second that, only for the fact that earlier times are not as viable for me. Again, for both the video conference and for the fact that sometimes I am robbing Paul to pay Peter just in terms of my time and juggling many hats and many responsibilities.
Okay. That sounds like I'm going to suggest that sounds like a motion to close this item of business, and perhaps a second, if I'm reading that correctly.
Yes. Motion to close this discussion.
And
I
that
would
is a
third,
strong second.
third the motion because the later, honestly, the better for me too. So
Okay. All in favor of closing this discussion, please say, well, actually, in favor, aye, and opposed, nay. Ethan?
aye.
Aye, okay. Sorry, I should go by state. So Kentucky, aye. Massachusetts?
Aye.
Indiana?
Aye.
And Illinois?
Aye.
And California wrote aye in the chat. So that's a universal close this discussion. Okay, so we'll keep the meeting as it is. That makes sense. Okay. Before we end for the day, we are moving on to new business. That was it with old business. New business, we had the discussion of who should be the primary / alternative PPI, Pirate Parties International delegate, and what is their role precisely. I do want to at least have a little bit of a discussion about this. Joe had primarily brought this up, and Joe had been sort of nominated / discussed as a potential primary delegate to the Pirate Parties International. Yeah, AJ.
I do want to say, I guess my main point is, Joe, are you sure that you can take this on? I think you would do a fantastic job, but I know that you are a very, very busy person and you do a lot for the party already. My concern here, isn't a concern, with you because I know you would do fantastic. I just, even with appointing Mitch as another platform chair and all this other stuff that we could do, I just want to make sure. Are you ready to take this on, or do you just know that somebody has to take this on and are willing to make the sacrifice for us?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Okay.
I'm already the observer for Massachusetts has signed up for the Pirate Party International, and I'm already observer status, so I'm already going to be there. So it's not a big jump to wear two hats to the same meeting, and that's part of the reason why I was looking to reel back some of the responsibilities I had for the council and just stick to the books so that I can go and make sure that we're represented in a positive light internationally.
Joe, may I suggest something?
You may.
So we are allowed up to, according to the PPI statutes, we are allowed up to 6 delegates. Now, mind you, I think only one can be like the person speaking on behalf at a time or whatever, right? But and we only get 1 vote. But we are allowed up to 6 delegates. So designated delegates. So I would suggest, that we say, perhaps it sounds like you're going to be there most of the time, if not all of the time anyway. What if Joe was the primary, and then we set more than one alternative? What if we set 2 or 3 alternative folks who might be willing to fill in as needed at the meeting and take on that role? And then, Joe, whenever you need to tap out, you just say, here are the minutes from last meeting. Like, here's that link. Read up. It's your role for today.
I am fine with taking whatever this council would have me do. Hopefully you feel that I am a steady keel in terms of going in there and representing us and making sure. I think that the previous person we elected was much more passionate than I am, but at the same time, her loss is still keenly felt. So that being said, I know I have big shoes to fill into, and I am happy to bring anyone who wants to come with me. But I know that I can handle this in a way that will do us proud as well. So, however you guys want to handle this, I guess what I'm saying is, however you guys want to handle this, I'm happy to do.
Well, Joe, to be clear, I'm basically like riffing off of what AJ said. Like this feels absolutely like something like, you know, not an issue of trust. Like you are, I think, to my understanding, you are trusted by the folks in this body, you know, and you certainly have my vote of confidence if that's what you're seeking. But, you know, in terms of daily, you know, as you go through it, like there might be days where, you know, you just don't have the time or don't have the energy to attend that meeting, and that seems perfectly valid. Or you don't have the time or energy to fully, you know, pay attention at that meeting, and that's also perfectly valid. I've had plenty of days like that. So, you know, I feel like given the possibility of those situations, you know, it
Yeah.
would probably be a good idea to have someone as backup, or a couple
Totally
people.
understand. That's why I actually, again, was trying to give up some of my responsibilities on the platform so that I could focus upon this. Because lately I've been focusing on the FEC stuff, and I've been focusing on, like, for example, tomorrow there's a meeting, or coming up there on the 22nd, there is a international meeting at 9:30. So I'm trying to figure out how to get into that.
Mitch.
I just wanted to say that I do believe that the conversation being led here is simply stating that Joe is of the utmost confidence and quality to be the representative. But just to bring into New England football terms, Brady needed a backup on the team. That's all we're trying to say. Is that?
Oh yeah. And I'm not taking offense.
We think that you are the GOAT, and we just think that in case, you know, you need to tap out for a minute, we just should also elect some backups along with electing you as the PEI representative. And I think that's all the recommendation is here, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, and by no means don't take my feedback as anything other than anything like that. I'm not like happy that you guys want to come with me. In fact, if everyone from the sport would to come with me, I think that would be great.
AJ?
I just wanted to say, can we make sure, you know, before we leave tonight, to certify Joe as the representative so he can attend this meeting that's like 2 days away, correct? Like as the U.S. Pirate Party representative.
Is that a motion?
I will make that a motion.
I second.
Okay. Okay. Can we, in addition, I would like to suggest, so it has been properly moved and seconded, that Joe be the official representative of the U.S. Pirate Party at the Pirate Party's international meetings. I would like to additionally suggest an amendment to that motion, which adds any alternative representatives who may wish to be added on as alternative representatives should the need arise.
I will throw my name in the hat as an alternative rep, just to fill out the board.
I will also throw my name in the hat as an alternative rep to also fill out the board.
Sure, why not? I'll throw in my hat as an alternative rep to fill out the board.
Okay, we got 3 alternative reps for you, Joe. That means, unless anyone else wants to also throw in, Ethan, how you feeling on that?
Excuse me. I'd love to. Yeah, you can definitely would throw my name in there.
I don't know, just saying.
Yeah, the only thing is, because I'm so new, I'm still learning everything.
You don't have to. You don't have to. That wasn't meant to be a pressure thing.
No, I wouldn't mind at all just to be a backup. But yeah, but before I get more active in, you know, the PNC, you know, to taking on more roles in leadership seats, I definitely want to get my own party here in Kentucky stronger, get the website rolling, and you know, be here or be around a little more before I commit to anything else. But this thing for sure, because mainly because I myself am, you know, an internationalist, and I try to travel a lot, and I have friends in a lot of other countries too, and I've lived in other countries myself. And so, yeah, I'm game for that. I think that's awesome.
It's settled, Joe. We're all coming with you.
Um,
And I'll have you.
Okay, so assuming are there any objections to that amendment adding those alternative representatives?
No, but I do have some discussion on it.
Please.
So anyone who wants to join these meetings, if you Google Pirate Parties International, there you will find the main website for the Pirate Party International. And where you want to go is click on calendar.
Are you guiding us through this right now? Should I be doing that? Is that what you're saying?
Just so that you have access to it and so you know where to look.
I do.
You're gonna want to go to the calendar, and then right on the board meetings, there's the international meetings, and then there's the board meetings. The board meetings being generally the meat and potatoes of it. And the international meeting is it's all right there. Typically, it's on big blue button.
Yep.
So if you don't see a link, international coordination team. So that's a specific committee. So it would be. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this pulled up.
Seems like it's every 3 weeks.
Yeah, every 3 weeks. So I'm sorry, it's the 29th.
So there's one on the 29th. Yeah, so next week.
So yeah, that's an international coordination team. So that's must be a specific thing.
Okay.
So the next one is on the 29th. So I apologize. It's not tomorrow.
Okay.
The more you know.
Okay, so is there any further discussion or debate on the motion to have Joe as the primary representative for the USPP to the Pirate Parties International, and to have myself, Ethan, AJ, and Mitch listed as the alternative representatives for that same position?
There are no objections from the state of Indiana.
Hearing no further discussion or debate, I'm going to call the vote. Kentucky.
Aye.
Massachusetts.
Aye.
California. Wrote aye in chat. Indiana.
Aye.
Illinois.
Aye.
Okay, that's 5 ayes, 0 opposed. Motion passes. Thank you very much, Joe. Excited to hear from you and how all that goes.
Thank you
we
for
are
all your
over
support.
time. Yeah, we are over time that we usually spend, so I will kindly ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay.
I'll second that.
It has been moved and seconded. Ayes and nays on motion to adjourn. Kentucky.
Aye.
Massachusetts.
Aye.
Indiana.
Sorry for stealing your second to adjourn, by the way, Mitch. Also, aye.
California. Typed aye in chat, and we have last Illinois.
Aye.
5 ayes, 0 opposed. This meeting of the Pirate National Committee is adjourned at 10:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for this lovely meeting. And thank you for watching the Pirate National Committee meeting on March 20th. And thank you for joining us. Please check out uspirates.org. Again, that's uspirates.org. Join our Discord. Hang out with us. Discuss with other pirates. Join us on IRC. We'd love to chat with you. And hope to see you helping us spread the pirate message and vote pirate. And we'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. There we go. We are out. That is